So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the reports that we've built on already and we're going to refine them some more. One of the things that's nice about what we have here is that we have a clear indication of whether the clients are installed and active or whether they're not. What I want to do now is insert a indicator to let somebody who's reviewing the report quickly see which ones are okay and which ones are in need of repair. And what that's going to be is there's going to be a green, yellow, and red indicator along the side here after we're finished. So let's get started and we'll start talking about that. We're going to go into Designer, and again we're going to go ahead and load up the first data set we did. I've preloaded the query, and what I'm doing here is I'm going to replace the entire query, test it out, then we'll go back in and insert the where statement. So we're going to go into Query Designer, connect as a current user, and let's show you what I've done here. We've got another case statement that we added here, and what we're doing here is we're providing a calculation for that indicator to key on. That calculation is merely the addition of client 0 and active 0, and it'll give us a value of null, 1, or 2 based on the values of client 0 and active 0. But what we have to do, once again, is that when that value equals null, we want to change that to a 0. The null value is the equivalent of client 0 and active 0 having no value at all because there's no client, so it can't actually have a value, but we're going to give it the value of 0. If the client 0 and active 0 are not a 0 value, it will come back and give us the addition of the two columns together to provide us with a 1 or a 2 as a value, because if there's a client on there, it'll have a 1, and 1 plus 0 is 1, so we'll never have a value of 0 unless both columns are null. So let's test that out. And as you can see, we've got a new column here called status, which is providing us with these values. We're not going to get a value of 1 in my environment because I don't have any clients that are inactive. They're all active, so we're only going to be able to see the green and the red lights indicators here. So now that we've got that working, let's go in here and add that where statement back. I've already got that query down here, and we'll just pull that statement out and just insert it. So as we have said before, you put that after your from. And then what I also want to do is grab the value that we will have from there, which is right here. We're going to key on Windows Server NT 6.1, and let's go into Query Designer, and we'll go ahead and test it. Now it's going to ask me for a value, and that's where you paste the value that we've just provided. And as you can see, we've got a status of 2 and 0 and 2. So we know the query is working and we're good. Now, what we want to do here is add another column. So we're going to go here in Designer. We're going to add a column to the right hand side. We're going to name this column status. And what we're going to do is go to the Insert tab. We're going to go to an indicator. And we're going to click right in here. And we're going to choose this indicator here. Now that we have the indicator, we need to provide it data. So the first thing you do is right click on your indicator, and you're going to go to Gauge Panel Properties. You need to align this panel with the right data set, and actually it's already there, so that's good. And that's all we need to do with that particular selection. But now we've got to go in and set the indicator properties. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go into Values and States. The value that we're going to provide here is merely status, which is that field right there. So you click here on Fields, click Status, and double click it, and it'll fill that in. And now we want to change this from a percentage because it defaults to a 0 to 100 percentage on that indicator. And we want to change this to a numeric value because we're providing it with 3 specific values. Our red indicator will be keyed off of a value of 0. Our yellow indicator will be keyed off of a value of 1. And our green will be keyed off of a value of 2. And that is all we need to do, and now we can run this. We'll choose that 6-1 again because we know we have some varied values in there. And as you can see, this is what happens. And this gives a very good, clear indication of whether you have a troubled client or a healthy client based on activity and client being installed. We're also going to go ahead and extend this out. And we'll run it one more time. And there we are. That's how you insert an indicator into an existing report.